Assalamu alaikum. My name is Salim Siddiqui, and thanks for watching this continuing series on the hotconflict.com website. We're talking about the unseen world. Well, as we know, the world is in a process of change, and many people are terming this ascension or enlightenment, and many people are out there talking about ascended masters or light workers or rainbow warriors, star seeds, indigos, the return of a new age or a coming age of enlightenment, the Aquarius age or the water age. We're talking about some of these strange concepts and leading a conversation or a story into this idea that we're heading towards first contact. And again, the way we do this story here is a little bit different, so I'm not saying, oh, first contact is going to be this day. I'm telling you a story so that when we get to a concept like first contact, it is not a declaration. It is that you understand the reasons why things are happening, who is coming, why they're coming, and why it is a blessed occasion and a noble event that we are all on this planet getting ready to witness. Now, we've been talking about the prophets of the light, and as believers in the light, we believe that there is a Lord, a creator, who has sent prophets with scripture, and the believers in the light believe in every single prophet and reject none of them. And this is one of the fundamentals that all Muslims, as I am, saying La ilaha illallah, believers in the one true God, and declaring Muhammad the final messenger, we say that we believe in every single prophet that came before him, all those who were sent by the Lord. Of course, there have been false prophets that we know of, but we're talking about the prophets that are in agreement on this earth from the light. And we talked about Adam and, of course, the great prophet Noah, and then Abraham. And we talked about some of the strange concepts around Abraham and the changing of the sun and why that relates to 2012. And now we're going to go into the next major prophet after Abraham, which is Moses. You see, by the time we get to Moses, we're now in Egypt, during a whole nother civilization, the Egyptian Empire. And clearly many people understand, and it has been well known amongst many of the underground or covert groups, that there is technology and knowledge of other races and other realms and other dimensions within the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and pyramids and structures. And since we've been talking about some of these concepts like sacred geometry, we're going to get into some really interesting concepts when we talk about Moses. Now, because we've been talking about the unification process or the law of oneness or the unity of all brethren of the light, this is the area where, of course, my Jewish brothers and sisters start to see a different part of the story. We know that after Abraham, it appears to be that there was still interaction with many other races or possibly other humans from different realms within the inner earth or from the stars or from different civilizations that might have landed here on the planet. But we know that after the time of Abraham, strange events started to happen again on the earth and the light was lost. And so by the time we get to Moses, the children of Israel, the descendants of Isaac and the descendants of the 12 sons of Jacob, Joseph, are now in Egypt in the land of Pharaoh, and Moses is raised, again the story goes, with beautiful conditions, wanting nothing, learning everything about the secret and hidden knowledge. And we go through the whole Exodus and the whole process, and we see that there is definitely a concept that the children of Israel are the sons of Adam that are still maintaining the pure blood. And blood starts to become a very major focus in this concept of this realm. That certain beings have certain blood, and perhaps there is other non-human blood running in other beings. And this idea that the children of Israel become the chosen and recognize that God has blessed them and truly has with prophethood, with scripture, with the actual Ark of the Covenant and the tablets of Moses. And this concept that they are to maintain themselves and keep themselves pure of physical body and spiritual essence starts to become evident. And I believe there is a deeper connection here where obviously some of the ancient scriptures refer to Nephilim and some of the other races that were out there when Moses leads the Exodus, and we get to giants like Goliath, and we understand that there were things going on, and we understand at a deeper level why the children of Israel felt such a need to not intermarry outside of their bloodline and maintain purity as a race. Of course, there is always an appropriate balance between physical purity and spiritual purity. And this balance is there in the story itself. Now, many of the people in the mystical community and the knowledgeable community of the tribes of Israel had a deeper understanding of what was the essences of the energies of some of the earlier civilizations of the Egyptian community, what some of the deeper meanings of the pyramids were. The idea in sacred geometry that we had got to that time, understanding with the tribes of some of the patternings and some of the mystical nature, and that the three-pointed pyramid and what was the concept with that Trinity concept with the all-seeing eye, a reference to both the reptilian third eye and also the divine eye of knowledge, and also some of the other races with a third eye. It's unclear at this time how much knowledge the Jewish community or the children of Israel had of other races. Did they have knowledge of 3 other races? Did they have knowledge of 6 other races? Did they have knowledge of 3 benevolent races and 3 malevolent races forming the positive white triangle and the negative counterbalancing negative triangle that then formed the Star of David? Was there a connection made by people of the higher spiritual echelon of the Jewish community? I believe we'll get to know more and more information as many of those of the light from the Jewish community start to disclose more and more of the secret ancient knowledge that was kept within themselves, because they tended to think after the Exodus to protect all their secret knowledge and not know if they should trust anyone outside of their bloodline. And so a shift occurred with many of the people in the Jewish community between understanding the duality concept of physical blood and purity and spiritual concept. Now, how much and how long and which parts of the community were guided and which parts of the community were misguided is something that historians will go over, and many of the people will explain as we get to know more and more information in the spiritual records of our own past as the human race, what happened. And this is not a detrimental comment to my Jewish brothers and sisters, as we all know that a prophet is sent to a community and then communities splinter and slowly more and more misinformation and deception comes in and splinter groups occur. And it is the same with the Jewish brothers and sisters. It is the same with Christianity, and it is the same with Islam. So there's no superiority or inferiority issue here. It's just the natural progression of the light and the dark in this battle as we go along. And so we see that the light struggles there, and we had this time with Moses getting the Ark of the Covenant, being the one who speaks to the Lord Most High and becoming Kalam Allah. Again, there a reference with a person who attains such a high level in this world, in this dimension, that they get to speak to the Lord and communicate at that level. Again, something beautiful. Not since Abraham have we seen such a noble honor given to our brother Moses. And of course, there are references to Moses having interaction with Khidr. And we've been through the story of Khidr. If you don't know the story of Khidr, we'll do a more detailed video about Khidr. But he's a benevolent green, or a humanoid, or perhaps even another jinn race from another realm or dimension who had divine insight, was not a prophet, but was a benevolent being. Perhaps my brothers and sisters from the Jewish community, who obviously have more knowledge and more ancient text on Khidr, or the story of Khidr, or the green one, will come forward and disclose a lot more of this information, but we know